Okay, here we go. The 2022 race season starts here. It's race week at long last, but as you can see, when I'm ready to go to the circuit, I'm not in the E36, which sits there, not loaded, not prepared, and not going to the circuit. I'm going up in the lap of luxury in my 530D because I am not racing my own car. I'm making not just my, but also a brand new car's debut in 750 Motor Club's Type R Trophy. Freshly built for my good friends Ian Thornton and Keith Fryer is a Civic EP3 Type R, prepared by Tegua, which is going to be a whole new experience for me, that's for sure. The sum total of my front wheel drive experience on racetracks at all, actually, I think, and certainly in racing, is the 2CV 24-hour race 4 years ago. Fabulous experience, not at all relevant. And 9 laps in this car when I met it on 750's pre-season track day at Silverstone a few weeks ago. Not really got any idea how to drive it. Certainly the car felt really solid, very intuitive to get on with, and perfectly fine to drive. It actually feels like a really, really good build, and it feels playful and like it really, really wants to have a bit of fun. How to extract the maximum out of it, and how to handle it in race traffic with a totally different handling dynamic to the cars I'm used to, and with no ABS, not a clue. We'll be finding out live in qualifying. Okay then, showtime in the Tegua Type R Trophy. This is my very first outing in a competitive session in a front wheel drive car since I did the 2CV 24-hour race in 2018. Whether it will stand me in any stead or not, I'm not sure. As you can see, we have a packed field of 30 Honda Civic EP3 Type Rs. And actually I found that not only were quite a lot of them testing here at Croft circuit yesterday for a full day, some were up here 2 weeks ago testing as well, which is pretty committed to making all the way up here just next to Darlington to try and get the drop on little old me, who only met this car 2 weeks ago and has driven 9 laps of a different track, mostly with one of the co-owners on board, changing the brake balance for me as we went, which reminds me to check, where are we? Yeah, I think that's okay. I really have no idea what to expect, but we'll find out soon enough. Nice jacket.
Thanks, yeah.
Brake pedal felt about the same.
Really?
Yeah. We'll see what it's like. We'll see what it's like when it's hot.
I'm convinced it's better. I don't know what to do. Oh, that's... So yes. I guess not much we can do right now anyway.
Sorry?
Not much we can do right now anyway, so we just...
The ventilation's a bit shit.
Yeah, you're right.
You need 4 please.
Sure. 3 and 4.
And legs.
Yeah.
Hi.
That's idle. There's no clock in here, is there? I'll have to count laps.
Good question. There was a way, and I think it comes up on there if you get the right option going. I can't have to do that now. There was just a radio there, and I guess that's what I use as a book.
Yeah.
What I can do, you.
Oh yeah, give me a trip meter.
Yeah. Trip A. There you go.
Right. How long's the circuit?
Just over 2 miles, isn't it? It's really long.
so starting to get a bit of a feel for the car and starting to feel more confident in it. The biggest difference from my E36 is actually not really the chassis. You do need to grab the chassis by the scruff and pitch it into the corners, but it's the engine. The engine demands being absolutely up in the revs all the time, and below 6,500 RPM it's just making no performance, so it all becomes about min corner speed. It's a very strange thing. Let's go for a ride around the quickest lap I did in qualifying here at the Croft circuit. We've got a quite short feeling straight on the run down to Clairvaux here. We have a really fiddly braking section into a big bump on the apex, and then we fire across to brake over this curb and then turn in to Hawthorne, where we have to wait and look through and make sure that we don't overcook it here, because if we're not tight to the circuit on the way into this chicane, we have to lift on the second half of it on this exit, and then we pay all the way down the straight. Now I have a little brief section to have a little bit of a think about things and look for a braking point down here, because it's really bumpy on the way into Tower Bend. We've got no ABS, so balance the car, have to correct the car a little bit on the brakes there, pitch it in, think about that min corner speed, feed the power, wait for the VTEC to come in. There it goes, now we've got performance. We can fire on down towards the Jim Clark S's, which are flat out, but you have to be careful with the line. So we're all the way into the left in 4th gear, clip the curb a bit, up to 5th, clip the curb again, use the exit space but get back on before the curb runs out, and now into Parcroft. Just a little bit of brakes there actually on this lap to try and stabilise the car for braking before Sonny in, so she doesn't try and swap ends on me. Once you're in here it's okay, you're just managing exit speed, bit of tentative there on the throttle to make sure we don't run out onto those ruts on the outside. And now we've just got a short run into the complex, tricky braking here, easy to lock the brakes, doesn't matter too much if you don't get a fantastic exit, because it's only a short little straight before you're in here to the second part of the complex. Run the curve a little bit, whoops, straight up to 3rd before we have to dip back down into 2nd for the tightest corner on the circuit, into the hairpin, and then wait for it. There's the performance. We can fire the car down the pit straight to complete the lap of Croft Circuit. 2.05 miles in 1 minute 37.95.
In the zone?
I think so, yeah. We're go quicker now than qualifying, because I've got some assistance on board, so yeah, it feels alright. I think I've worked out how to launch it.
And?
I just canvassed a few people. Apparently, just like you're quick away from the traffic lights, like 2.5, slip the clutch in and drive it away engaged. Apparently you can't dependably spin the wheels, and if you can, it's not very fast anyway, so it's a bit of a relief actually, so it's not how I'm used to doing it, but
Horses for courses.
yeah.
How many laps?
It's 15 minutes, so probably 9. I think we'll get 9.
15 plus 1 or 15?
15 plus 1 I should think. I've just got the trip meter here, and that's it, I'll just go by that. When I see 40 on there, I expect to check a flag. It's all very basic in here. No lap time, I know fuck all. It's not that relevant really, I just want to do a bit of racing, you know? I think it'd be good fun.
Should be.
Yeah. Where are you going to be?
Turn 1 and turn 2.
Okay, cool.
So ride them curves nice.
Well, I hope you got your gravel goggles.
I'll shoot the fuck off that you get on.
No, don't worry, it's fine, man. Have a good one.
Bye. Yeah. Hello.
Hi. I can't see you.
I know. I don't worry.
How you doing?
We just came to have a lunch with everyone else, really.
Yeah, it's quite a pretty field, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? It's some nice livery cars.
Yeah. So it looks like they're on their in lap now, so it won't be long.
Yeah.
Nerves building a little?
Huh?
Nerves building a little?
I'm okay actually. I just want to get the thing away cleanly.
Yeah. Well, I mean that in a good way, because having a bit of nerves is always just natural, isn't it, really?
Oh yeah.
That never quite goes, I've found.
No,
But that's
no,
a big
it will.
good thing, because it's part of the thrill.
So
in a
what
way.
I found is about race 42, it goes away. On the grid at Brands, I wasn't nervous in November last year. I just was really looking forward to it, which was lovely. It was really nice being able to just feel excited about it. Here, there's a lot of unknowns, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm not super worried really.
It'll take me a while at my rate to get to race 42, I think.
Yeah, I know, but
Which is fine by me. To be honest, I want to do a bit here and a bit there. That keeps me happy, really.
Yeah, and you'll
That's
get
my,
there.
that's my style.
You need to put some yellow film on the headlights. Yellow on the splitter. Yellow film on the headlights.
Oh, that would be good.
That
badass,
could work, yeah. There's a few like that, and it does look quite cool. Yeah, I saw that.
That's that.
I can't overstate how lovely it was to drive in qualifying, you know.
I'm glad about that, really am.
Really good.
Okay then, showtime. Race 1 of the 2022 Tegoa Type R Trophy. I've been canvassing opinion in the paddock on how to launch this car, and I think I know what I'm doing. It makes a bit more sense than what we'd attempted before, so alright, let's see how we go. That's my main focus really. If I could get a clean getaway from my 14th place on the grid and drive with a reasonably defensive idea, get through the first couple laps, no, not laps, first couple corners, let's say. Well, there's a big pinch point into turn 1 here at Croft, and a little bit into the first chicane as well, just a few seconds later. If I can survive that, okay, then we can figure out who's who and who's where, and do a good bit of racing. I actually think it's going to be really good. I'm tentatively hoping to move forward from this 14th place because, you know, I was still very much learning the car and the circuit and the combination during qualifying, and a lot of people have been testing. So my hope is that I'm still improving lap time, and I think there's 4 or possibly 5 cars ahead of me that are all within a second of my qualifying time. So I hope I can hang on the back of them, and as I learn what they're doing and where I'm quicker, start to pick some off. That'd be great. But as it's a 2-race meeting, we're out now at, I don't know what time it is actually, it should be 2:05, maybe we're a bit late. After that there's another one at 5:30, and you know, the car belongs to 2 good friends of mine, so a little bit of conservatism is required, and I say that out loud, not just for you but also to remind myself that once the lights go out, I got to keep her shiny side up and keep her out the side of any other cars. And I've also got to watch out behind me and around me, because we're not allowed ABS in this formula, so other people making a mistake could very well lead them to come in the back of me or to be shooting up the inside without meaning to. So maximum situational awareness. Fortunately the mirrors are pretty good. The view out the back is better than my E36, which is nice, and most people have a reasonable amount of experience, so I hope we'll be alright. See how we go.
Well, that was really good fun. Here I am in between race 1 and 2 of the opening round of the Tegua Tyre Par Trophy here at Croft Circuit. And wow, yeah, a really good outing actually. I was really nervous about how to launch the car off the line, having played around with it in the past and not found a good way of doing it. I actually found it okay. We had a green flag lap, so I had one opportunity from the dummy grids to see if I could get it to work. It felt okay, and then on the way out onto the opening lap of the race, no problem. I just not quite being used to the car and how it revs and how it spins up when you're in first gear. I overcooked it a bit in the gear change timing. I thought I was up in the rev limiter, and it turns out I was just wheel spinning up to it. So bogged down a bit in second gear, lost a bit of pace going on the run down to the first corner, and gave away a couple of places. But actually then the racing was really good and really clean. I thought we all bunched in and got back out again really well, and it's a major pinch point here at Croft, so it's actually quite impressive to manage that on the first race back of the season. And from there I was trying to cling on to the pack ahead. I didn't quite manage it actually, so having lost a couple at the start and then gained a few places back with spinners or one shunt, someone off in the gravel, I ended up back in, I think I was in 13th for a little while, until Gavin Johnson came up and picked me off in the hairpin with 1 lap to go, which was really frustrating actually. It was a nice move, a good clean move. I just didn't defend hard enough, wasn't awake enough to sprint racing type of tactics, and he slotted through. I hung on to the back of him for a lap, but in the end finished ultimately 14th. Yeah, kind of mixed feelings about it actually. I would have liked a bit more racing. I was in a bit of space for the middle of the race, which is down purely to my pace. I noticed looking at the timesheet that up ahead of me there's a big bunch of cars that are a second a lap faster, and then behind me there's a big bunch that are a second a lap slower. So I'm on a little island, and the only solution to that is to try and find the extra second, isn't it? So my aim now is to cling on to the pack much harder in race 2, try and make a bit more of an impression on the guys ahead, and see if I can hang on to them and maybe pick a couple off as we get into the closing stages of the race. It's also, as you might be able to see, spitting with rain, which is usually my favourite thing, but in this car, really not sure what to expect. So yeah, stay tuned. What were the last lap times?
Yeah, you have a good look, because I need to save my phone battery.
Last lap times were 28, and the best lap times were high 28s was last laps, and best
three.
laps, yeah, best laps was 27 dead basically.
Okay, so it's dry.
Second and a half off.
Thinking I might remove that plastic in the middle, or do you think we could be going underweight if we start doing any more?
I don't think you need to. And actually I found it quite good for, I chucked my water in it
There's
afterwards.
a cup holder there. Push that open, slide that thing down the back.
Cool.
Useful. Got a little Type R plate on there.
I noticed that.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, they're all basically a second and a bit off, so
Yeah,
just a nice, Saturday afternoon drive, isn't it, really?
I did suddenly realise that.
Turn left to turn right. Right, have a good one, mate.
Take it easy. I can't, yeah, sure. Thanks, yeah.
You want to go fast and reverse back?
See if it'll go.
You're in one of the garages?
I am, I'm in 13, but the trailer's over there ready to go. I was just going to drive on at the end of the race, so thank you. I think we'll just get my guys to help me push it. Thanks. Oh, that was anticlimactic. Well, yeah, the main thing was I'm glad I went for the practice start then off the dummy grid, you know.
Yeah.
The guy behind was waiting for me to move, not like at the start. Oh man. Well, I feel terrible. It's not my car. I didn't do anything unreasonable to it. I think it's just killed a CV joint or something. Yeah. Just a shame, because it's been a really good day so far. Right, am I okay to leave this here for the race? Thank you. Yeah, I know. Here I am in first gear, and actually the speedo is coming up, so the gearbox is turning. Can you see the shafts? Well, we're not going to get it in the race, are we? So we'll just park it.
Reverse it. Can you reverse it?
No, it's fucked. Well, that wasn't the end of the day we were hoping for. All felt quite good actually in the assembly area, lining up 14th again, but I only realised on my way over there, or was told, I didn't realise, that I actually had a really good chance of hanging onto the pack, because in that formula the top 10 finishers are reversed for the second race. So everyone behind that starts in finishing order, but first place starts in 10th and 10th in first and so on. Which means you're going to have loads of scraps in the very first laps of the race, and actually the chance of people behind hanging on and taking advantage is much better. Unfortunately, on the green flag lap, flag was waved, I went to do a practice start, I heard a very serious mechanical shattering noise and had no drive. So clutch up, engine turning, speedo reading about 10 mile an hour, car not moving. Felt like it was going to be a drive shaft, or if we were unlucky, maybe something internal, gearbox or diff. But speedo usually means the gearbox is turning. Lo and behold, after we pushed it in, we lifted the car up and found a completely sheared half shaft. One of those things. I feel very lucky that it happened on the green flag lap, where the guy behind is waiting for me to go before doing his start, rather than on the live grid, where he's just going to go when the lights go out and possibly hit me sitting stationary in the middle of the circuit. And you know, you go into racing a brand new car that's never been campaigned before, you expect things like this to happen. So no no recriminations from my side, and no lasting harm done, and a dead quick and simple fix for Ian and Keith when they get the car home as well. So it's all loaded up on the trailer, and we are going to head ourselves on home. It will feel a longer drive than I'd imagined, but all in all, you know, it's not. I'll just try and get the fence out of the way. It's not a bad part of the world, and it's been a nice day being back at a 750 meeting. Caught up with all sorts of people. Thank you to everyone who's taken the time to come and have a chat, and who came to commiserate or to check in on me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I will see this particular crowd at Silverstone in 3 weeks' time. Cheers, guys.